Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. We are able to hear, sir. Just let us wait for a few minutes, sir, because some more people may join in a few minutes.
Yeah. Fine. In the meantime, we'll talk about something in general. Why don't you just ask me something?
Always welcome, sir.
Kindly ask me something, or anyone on the, like, I think there are already 10 participants. So why don't we just talk about general things? Because I think these are the last 2 classes.
Yes.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Until the next 5-10 minutes, do you need any clarifications, or do you have anything to ask? Anjan Kumar, Aruna, Srilata, Ramana Murthy, Samata, I find.
It's a good evening, sir.
Good evening, but ask me something, so that why to waste time while waiting for somebody? You can ask me something. Assignments, you can submit it online. Am I right? You need not worry about assignments. Assignments have already been placed online, and hope you are asked to submit online. Am I right? Bhuvanacharya.
Sir, regarding assignments, there is no specific instructions as to what way we have to submit. Earlier, they have conducted a meeting during the initial days. That should be uploaded to the portal, they said. Yes. But they haven't, but not cleared it. It appears it is not being initiated from this year.
Oh, so are they asking you to submit it offline?
Yes, sir. Directly to the study center.
Sure. కనుక్కున్నారా సార్ కరెక్ట్ గా?
ఇప్పటి వరకు అదే ఉంది సార్. అంతకుమించి వాళ్ళు ఏమీ చెప్పలేదు. ఏ సబ్జెక్ట్ కి అదర్ ఎకనామిక్స్, మన పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ వాళ్ళు ఎవరికి కూడా ఈ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఇవ్వలేదు. తెలుగు, ఉర్దూ వాళ్ళకి కూడా, మాకు కూడా అలా ఇవ్వలేదు. అంటే ఇప్పటి వరకు చెప్పిన అంటే ఇలా అప్పుడు ఏంటంటే ఒక విధానం చెప్పాలి వాళ్ళు, హౌ టు డౌన్లోడ్ అనే క్లారిటీ ఇవ్వాలి, ఎక్కడ డౌన్లోడ్ చేయాలి, ఎప్పుడు డౌన్లోడ్ చేయాలి, ఆ వివరాలు లేవు. కాబట్టి దిస్ ఇయర్ దే హ్యావ్ పుట్ ఇట్ ఆఫ్.
Okay. So it goes offline. Okay. Then great. You just have to submit it off your. You have to submit at your center itself. Like you need not send it to the department. You better submit at your. That's the procedure. You go there and you can submit things there itself.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, now only starting no class, sir?
Yes, no, I'm waiting for people like you to join. Don't worry.
Thank you.
I find 19 participants. Participants are going on. Let's wait for another 1-2 minutes. 20, 21. Wow.
Sir, you not came in last class, sir.
I didn't get you now.
You were not.
Okay. I did not take the last class. I don't have an answer.
We were continued, sir.
No, I understand.
How we were to the class? How much we know?
Because taking online is something. Though I find real pretty good strength. Somehow I don't know. I too have a feeling that I'm on live. Like right now we are live. The YouTube is streaming it live. So I'm also conscious. Like I'll be even speaking about that particular part today. Don't worry. I'll clear one of your. I think I have not talked about language. That's unit number. If I'm not wrong, structuralism and literary criticism. That's unit 14. I did not touch upon it. So I think today I'll touch upon structuralism and literary criticism, because it shows how things are structured, or how your mind is put in a frame, and why you are thinking like this, or why we are conscious with some things, and why are we, how culture or how language play a major role in making us talk like this, act like this, behave like this. So whatever right now you are behavior is, or the way you are communicating. So everything is structured. Like language is a very powerful tool when it comes to criticism. So I'll be touching upon that. So there are 25. Can I start off?
Yes, sir, let us go.
Yeah.
Let us start.
Just a minute.
Sir, we have started the unit 17, interpretation of poetry, up to the uniquences of poetic language in the page number 183 has completed, sir.
Who taught you 183? I did not deal with 183 if I'm not wrong, but you have.
You are not to know. You are not to know, so just we only took our, sir.
Oh, great. Yeah, classification of poetry. Yeah, I thought of starting here. Like I thought of starting with unit 17.
So
17, 18, 19, all these units talk about how to interpret poetry, how to interpret drama, and how to interpret novel and short stories. So they help you to interpret. Boleto, they will help you to critically analyze a poem, a drama, a novel, or any genre. Take for any genre. Like you can even add interpretation of cinema. Or you can interpret your TV, or you can add culture. You can add anything, because everything talk about life. They try to tell you what truth is, but which again is a very difficult thing to understand. So I'll start with language and then come down to this particular part of interpretation of poetry and things like that. I'll just brief out that particular part, because structuralism is one important theory that was developed in the 1940s or 1950s after Second World War. What happens here is that Ferdinand de Saussure talks about language. He talks about the structuralization of language, like how language forms. I think we were talking, we were using one example in the class, like it's a very satirical way of putting, like ironical way of putting, like Kodi Munda, Guddu Munda, like which is first? Like, is it the hen or the egg? So if you look at this particular statement, you can apply this statement on your language. Like, is it the mind or the language? Like whatever I'm right now, whatever is coming out of my mouth, like whatever communication or whatever I'm speaking out, is it the brain or is it the word that is coming out? So there's a lot of debate going on. It's a continuous debate, like how your mind functions, or how is that your mind is organizing to talk. Like मैं कुछ बोलना चाहता हूँ, तो मैं फ्रेम कर लेता हूँ माइंड में कि ऐसा बात करना है. अगर मैं बिना फ्रेम, like if I don't frame something in my mind, like if I don't structure something in my mind, I just blabber something. कुछ ना कुछ बकता हूँ ऐसा ही. तो आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा कि मैं अगर कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ सेंटेंस ठीक तरह से नहीं किया, if I don't do the construction of a sentence, it becomes very difficult for me to make you understand what I am speaking. For instance, take the case of a child. 2 साल का या 1 साल की बच्चा को ले लो, तो बहुत मुश्किल से बोलती है. The moment she is trying to say something to you, it becomes very difficult for you to understand. Amma, Palu, she uses all one word one word communication, like that the entire process of that particular child, a growing child, what happens is there is a one word communication. The slowly you find when the child grows, like when we grow, like when human beings, they come into the society, or they become part of the society, like they go to school, they go to the shop, or they go to the market, or they talk to their parents more. And there's a lot of rapport that starts between the human being and the society. What happens is it's a kind of like entering into the society. After entering into the society, you find everything starts like there is a kind of mechanical way of structuring, like you structure a lot of sentences. When you go to a shop, you ask something, but you don't ask in a one word or a two word or a phrase manner. What you do is you go ask him, so yeah, though you are using one or two or phrases, whatever way you ask, but you ask in such a manner that it makes sense to the other person. That is where language is structured or constructed. But later on, when it comes to literary criticism, or right now you are in your MA, or you are doing your masters in English literature, or literary criticism, or in language, what happens is here you look everything from a broad perspective. Like already you are in society, you have experienced society, you have experienced communication and everything. But remember, just try to recall whenever you talk to whomever you talk or communicate as such, everything, whatever you talk is not understood by the other person. Right now, I am talking to you. Only 1% of whatever I am speaking or whatever I'm talking or communicating to you is getting into your minds. The 99% is miscommunication, or it is not interpreted, or it is not critically analyzed. See, I am speaking something. I'm shifting to languages. Telugu, Hindi, things like that. If you don't understand, kindly raise your hand. I think it's 14th MS. It is, I think it's 14th. I think it is 14th unit. Yeah, structuralism and literary criticism. Yes. నేను ఏమి మాట్లాడినా కూడా जो भी मैं बात करता हूं आपके, it's not about me, it's about anyone. Like आप आपके बाप से बात करो, माँ से बात करो, या आपका बच्चा से बात करो, या शॉप में जाके बात करो, whatever is being spoken or communicated does not reach the other person. If at all it reaches, the other person will not be in a position to understand what you are speaking, because everything is I think I have the capacity to ask to unmute. I can mute your somebody is again asked to unmute. Fine. Somebody is continuously speaking there. Are you able to hear it?
Yes, sir, there is some disturbance.
No, it's not disturbance. It's an example. Take it as an example. Sharma sir, take it as an example.
Very well, sir. Very well.
Take it as an example. Because whatever disturbance is happening there, there is some communication happening there, and you are not able to understand what is happening there, but you are able to listen it.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. To make chappalanukune ade sir. Right now, what I am trying to convey to you is that though I am speaking, there is no disturbance, there is direct communication that is happening to you, is not actual communication. Language, it becomes very difficult for us to understand the other side of the language. Yeah, you understand English, I understand English, everything will be fine. But remember, Just a moment. I just want you to be online. I'm getting a phone call from the concerned. Yeah, whatever we are trying to communicate is not getting to the other side. That remember this statement, and then let's look into how poetry, drama, or any literature can be interpreted. See, I'm talking something or I'm communicating something to you, and I say it very clearly to you. ఇది చాలా इंपॉर्टेंट, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये आप ध्यान से सुनो. जितना भी ध्यान से आप सुनते हैं, it becomes difficult for you to catch everything because your mind is thinking something else. Suppose I use a word here, like while I am communicating, I'll start using words like some examples, like while నేను क्लास लो जब मैं क्लास बोल रहा हूं तो आपके लिए मैं एग्जांपल्स इस्तेमाल करता हूं. एग्जांपल बिरयानी भी हो सकता है, पैराडाइज हो सकता है, हैदराबाद हो सकता है, या अमेरिका, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका भी हो सकता है. सपोज आई स्टार्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका, द इंग्लिश यूज्ड इन यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका. व्हाट हैपेंस इज यू विल स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट द पीपल like your relatives or your kids or your father, your mother, or anybody, like yeah, my people are in United States of America. Or what you do is you start thinking about your favorite hero, who is a very famous actor in English movies. Or you might remember something that is related to United States of America. And I say biryani, I say paradise biryani. What happens is the moment I say paradise biryani or bawarchi biryani, what happens is you start thinking about your own biryani or the flavor that you like. So things like that lead to miscommunication. Like it's not even miscommunication. It is not like the communication has not reached you. So you are thinking something else. I am speaking something else. So, sir, is there a solution to this?
Distraction.
Yeah, pardon?
Distraction, sir.
No, it's not distraction. You just hear things. మీరు आप सुनते रहते हैं అంటే మీరు వింటూ ఉంటారు. Right now, that's what I'm trying to tell you or trying to make you understand. It's like నేను మీతో మాట్లాడుతున్నాను కానీ ఏదో ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వాడతాను. నేను ఒక లెక్చర్ ఇస్తున్నాను, లేకపోతే యు ఆర్ టాకింగ్ విత్ సంబడి లైక్ యువర్ కిడ్ ఆర్ యువర్ ఫాదర్, ఎవరితో అయినా మీరు ఎవరితోనో మాట్లాడుకోండి. మీరు మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు आप जब बात कर रहे हैं तो आगे जो आपके बात सुन रहे हैं ना, वो ठीक ठाक सुन रहा है, या आप जो भी बोल रहे हैं वो उसका कान तक चल रहा है, ओके फाइन, बट उसका दिमाग में चल रहा है या नहीं. What I'm trying to say is only 1% or 2% reaches the other person, like mentally. कान तक okay fine, but the entire thing doesn't go into the head. That is where you are asked to interpret. That is where language plays a very dominant role in culture, tradition, poetry, or to understand what life is. Ferdinand Saussure or Noam Chomsky, or you find any structuralists, post-structuralists are trying to say this to you, that it becomes very difficult for the other person to understand. Whatever I am speaking actually is not what I am speaking. I want to speak something else, but I am speaking something else. Even remember, सुनने वाला को छोड़ो, आप जो बात करना चाहते हैं, आप जो एक्चुअली बात करना चाहते हैं, वो बात नहीं कर सकते हैं. It becomes very difficult for even me. Like right now, I am sitting here and communicating to you about structuralism or English literature or about culture, whatever. I'm giving you a lecture here, or I'm trying to counsel you. But let me tell you, whatever I actually thought of telling you is not what I'm telling. ये सबके साथ होता है, ये सबके साथ. It's like we are human beings, so it becomes very difficult for us to actually communicate what we want to communicate. बहुत मुश्किल है. लेकिन सर आप जो बोलना चाहते हैं वो अभी बोल रहे हैं ना? No. There is something else. I have already framed something, or I have already thought of telling you a lot of things which actually will reach you, which will actually tell you what truth is. But it becomes impossible for me to tell what truth is because I know what truth is. I have experienced as an individual. Everybody जो भी इधर बैठे हुए हैं सबको truth पता है, लेकिन वो बोले तो नहीं बोल सकते क्योंकि heard melodies are sweet, unheard are more sweet. There is a statement given in poetry by one of the poets, like you can take John Keats. There's a poem written by John Keats. I don't remember the name of the poem, but the statement goes like this: heard melodies are sweet, unheard are more sweet. Heard melodies, heard बोले तो जो सुन रहे हैं वो मेलोडी बहुत अच्छा है, वो रागम, वो जो बात कर रहे हैं, आपकी आवाज बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन आप जो बात नहीं कर रहे हैं ना, आपका मुंह से नहीं आ रहे ना, वो और स्वीट ज्यादा, like it's more sweeter rather than the one that is heard by you. So the unheard thing or the experienced one, so sir unheard ही रह जाएगा ना, वो सुन के भी कैसे पता चलेगा कि वो sweeter है? That's what I told you. It becomes impossible for anyone to tell you what the unheard thing is. Unheard is unheard, untold. Nahin. But what we are trying to do as human beings is we are trying to understand things. Like we are trying our level best. See, I was talking about platforms. I don't remember that I told you, but I do remember vaguely that I was telling you one example about platforms, like platform 1, platform 2, platform 3. Like let's take from a religious point of view. It's like heaven 1, heaven 2, heaven 3, heaven 4, heaven 5, heaven 6. Like there are 7 heavens, and God stays on the 7th heaven, while the 6 are heavens, and we are earth. So to reach God, a human being has to first cross the 1st heaven, 2nd heaven, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and then only he can reach God. So as per our discussion, or as per our communication, or as per our learning, what we are trying to do with our lives or in our lives is that we are trying our level best to reach at least to the 1st or the 2nd heaven, where we can elevate ourselves. So the same thing is what we are trying to understand through language. I told you in the very beginning of the class, language is a very powerful tool through which you can understand. So, okay, fine, you experience something. So how do you communicate that to the other person? Like suppose you are asked to, you have a poem on Coleridge, or you have a poem on poem by William Wordsworth, or you have Tagore's short story that you have read, or Chekhov's short story, or you take anything, like you can take the short stories of Kafka, or you take the example that is R.K. Narayan. I think you have an example of R.K. Narayan, or any short story or novel that you have read in your lifetime. Like whatever you read, what you are trying to do is you are reading it, but the author who is trying to say something is actually saying something else. So, sir, how to understand what he's actually saying? Yes, that is where you interpret things. You use language to interpret things. See, knowingly, unknowingly, like without my consent, like some words or some kunni padalu, some words जो बातें रहते हैं बिना मेरे consent आ जाते हैं, because suppose I'm very angry. Suppose just right now some Bhuvanacharya or somebody had unmuted his mic, and we were hearing something. What is happening is like all of a sudden I can get angry on him, saying that, "Arey, yem chestunnavra bhai? Why are you disturbing the entire class? Can't you mute your mic?" No, I cannot say that to him because I don't know the circumstances under which he has unmuted his mic. So in the same manner, what I am trying to tell you is, first try to understand anything. let it be poetry, let it be communication, or let it be anything. See the way language is used. Don't jump into conclusions. Like read. First you read the story, or you have to understand what the writer is telling on a very basic level. Like he's telling a story. Once upon a time there lived a king. He had dash sons. He had a wife, and he ruled his kingdom, and he had XYZ, whatever story that you have read. You read the story, but you go deeper into it. You look at the words that he has used. Just now I was telling you about that. गुस्सा में भुवनाचार्य को कुछ बोल देता मैं ऐसा ही, अरे क्या कर रहा है भाई. I use that particular term, like क्या कर रहा है भाई. It's like a kind of I'm scolding. I actually don't want to scold, but I scold. Some things emotionally come out. Like language is a tool where I just puke out my emotions. And while I do that, that particular word that I use with a particular character, or I try to use it through a figure of speech or through a dialogue in a drama, whatever, you take any genre. I'm giving you examples, like I'm trying to link everything. So emotionally, when I communicate, catch that word. That is where you will understand the actual communication done by that person. So to understand the communication, or to understand the language used by any writer or poetry, drama, novel, anything, what you have to do is you have to read between the lines. Like line number 1, line number 2. उसके बीच में क्या रहता है? खाली जगह रहता है. It's like there is empty space. But मैं आपको समझा रहा हूं कि वो empty space को पढ़ो. सर empty space को कैसे पढ़ते हैं? क्या पढ़ते हैं? क्या है करके पढ़ते हैं? That empty space is where the writer is emotionally trying to say his pain, happiness, or whatever emotion.
It has hidden meaning.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you are correct. There is a kind of hidden meaning there. I don't do it deliberately. I don't want to hide things. While I'm trying to tell you a story, or while trying to communicate to you, I'm not hiding anything from you. But knowingly, unknowingly, like I might not be I don't have that caliber. I don't have that capacity. To put it very plainly, even Buddha did not have that capacity to tell how he achieved nirvana. So when somebody asked him, like there is a novella by Hermann Hesse. The title of the novel is Siddhartha, where you find a Brahmin child. He leaves his home in search of truth, nirvana, and one fine day he even meets Buddha, the enlightened one, and there's a big gathering there, and he goes, sits, hears to his speech, but उसका दिमाग में कुछ नहीं चढ़ता. बुद्धा बोला सो तो बुद्धा के पास पर्सनली जाता है और बुद्धा को पूछता है, सर ये सब मत बताओ मुझे, ये सब मैं भी जानता हूं, या मैं भी I am also able to teach all these things, but tell me how you achieved nirvana. What was the road that you took to gain that enlightenment? आपको enlightenment कैसा आया? बुद्धा बोलता है कि I have sat beneath that X tree and I have prayed for so many days, meditated for so many days. So that was how I got nirvana. So, sir, I'm not asking about that. I'm not asking about where you sat, or बोध गया में बैठा, या उत्तर प्रदेश में बैठा, या हैदराबाद में बैठा. No, I'm not asking that. What I am trying to ask is, I am trying to ask you how you achieve the path to achieve nirvana. You tell me that way of achieving nirvana. तो बुद्धा बोलता है वो एक्सपीरियंस करना भाई, वो बोल नहीं सकते. It's like you have to experience it. The moment you experience it, you will know what enlightenment is. So I have experienced it. If you want to experience it, you can experience it. You can experience it in your own manner. It is not that you need not go and sit underneath a tree and meditate for days together or years together. No. Somebody goes and sits in a cave like Muhammad. I think today all should be on rosas from yesterday. So somebody goes and sits in a cave and the prophet is enlightened. It's like for just 30 days. 30 days he has a communication with God or with angel or whatever. But prophet is considered enlightened because he sat there, he has experienced that particular thing. So enlightenment is something that has to be experienced. So prophet goes and sits in a cave, and Buddha goes and sits underneath a tree. They have experienced it. But how we can become enlightened, or how can we become one with that particular concept called God or enlightenment or nirvana? That is where language plays a major role. Language helps you to understand, or you have to experience language. You have to experience that particular poetry that has been written. So to experience poetry, first thing is you have to interpret it. To interpret it, you have to first experience everyday life. Sir, I am an MA student. I am just 21 years old. I haven't experienced, I am just 42 years old. I haven't experienced life, or the life that you are saying, or I have experienced life in a different manner. See, 21 years or a 20, it's not that a 21-year-old has become an enlightened person or a 52-year-old person becoming enlightened. It is not that a particular book tells you it doesn't lead you to that road. It is more about how you look at it. So the main thing that your book, or at least your textbook, asks you to do is to interpret something in such a manner that you start reading between the lines, because you've been given a very small life. Like at the max, you will reach 100 years. Like you can't, it becomes impossible for everyone to live 200 years. Maybe 1 or 2 person might be living even after 500 years. That's more of a mythical or a metaphysical thing, which we are not going to talk here right now. So we have a very small span. So the best method is, sir, I can't go to the road, I can't go to the shop, or I can't go to the market, or I cannot go and experience the life in a prison by committing a murder. So to experience jail का experience पता है क्या आपको? अरे जब मैं जेल जाके बैठना है क्या, 7 साल 10 साल बैठा तो तब पता चलता है क्या मुझे जेल का एक्सपीरियंस? हाँ, तभी पता चलता है. लेकिन सर उसको एक्सपीरियंस करने के लिए अब मैं जाके किसी को मर्डर करना है या कुछ रॉबरी करना है क्या? नो. You need not experience jail life through staying in a jail. You can experience it by just reading the story of a person who has experienced life in a jail. This is one basic way of understanding the life spent by a prisoner in a prison. King, you can experience the way a king is ruling. You can experience through their writings. You can read meditations by one Caesar. I don't remember the name of the Roman emperor. He writes a book called Meditations. Read. You'll understand how he ruled. Like he's considered as one of the best emperors of Rome. Forgot his name. Yeah, fine. You read about prison, or you can. There's a short story written by Bashir, Vaikom Muhammad Bashir, V.M. Bashir, Vaikom Muhammad Bashir. The name of the title of this short story is The Walls. It's a Malayalam story translated, well translated. You can read it. So Bashir gives you a kind of experience in a prison, like how the lifestyle, how they eat food, how they smoke bidis, how they they hide things, how things from outside come inside politically, so crossing the jailer, how the jailer treats people, how the police or the guards treat the prisoners. You might have committed a crime, or you might not have committed a crime, but you are in a prison. So things like that, due to some misconception or misjudgment given by a judge, might make a person experience life. Yeah, I'll give you one good example of understanding what death is. There is a writer called Dostoevsky. I've already told you, read his Crime and Punishment, if possible, in your lifetime. It's not just your MA. If possible, read it. Try to read his Crime and Punishment. It's a very big novel, but it tells you what life is. It tells you what crime is. It tells you what God is, or it tells you what truth is. It tries to communicate. It tries to communicate at its level best. But the way we perceive it is again an important thing. Yeah, there is one example of Dostoevsky which goes like this. Like he was caught. Like there were some 15 to 20 people caught, considered as rebels. They were taken to a prison, and they were to be executed. Like they were to be encountered. All were made to stand facing the wall. It seems like there were some 10 or 15 people who all were made to stand. And Dostoevsky was the last person, like he was the 15th or the 10th, the last person, the the last person to stand. So see, we don't know whether it was his luck or we don't know whether it was coincidence. He was standing on the last, he was the last person to be encountered or killed. While people were, the people the prisoners or the people who were caught were being fired or encountered, the turn of Dostoevsky comes, and before the judge or the person or the commander asks the guard to fire, what happens is there is a call that comes from there. Like there is somebody shouts and says, "Don't kill Dostoevsky. Wait, he cannot be encountered because he has not committed any crime, and the Tsar has already permitted him, and he's not a rebel. He was taken into custody with a false premise or something, and Dostoevsky was left. And later on, once he comes out, like he goes to the verge of death, facing death, but he is brought out. Like the moment he's brought, he starts writing. He starts writing about what prison is, like how the life of a prison is. You can read his notes from the underground. You will understand psychologically how people change. Like there's a communication that is done to you. You have to interpret it. Remember, if possible, you have to do it in an objective manner. This is one important method of interpreting poetry. There are two methods, like the subjective way, the objective way. So the objective way is more powerful. Like you keep yourself there. Like you enter into the shoes of that particular character. You experience what has happened to the character. So 350 pages, 360 pages, or 400 pages, or 10 pages, 20 pages. What happens is you can experience that actual pain felt by the character. This is how you have to interpret poetry, drama, or you can take anything. So everything is trying to tell you or make you understand what truth is. Again, remember, see, you go to any judge or you go to any court, you will find some thousands of cases pending because even the judge who is sitting in the best or the highest position has been given permission by the entire nation to judge you, to tell you whether you have committed a crime or whether you have done some mistake. So you can check this out. You will understand that there are some thousands of cases pending in India or anywhere in the world. Why? Because the judge is unable to tell what actually has happened with the case. If at all you are a person who is standing there, like suppose there is a murder that has been committed by X on Y, and you are Z who has seen it, even the moment when you have seen it, you cannot, as a person who has seen it, that X has committed a crime on Y, becomes impossible for you to judge, or even the judge to judge. So, what is the solution? No, I'm not giving you here solutions. I'm giving you examples. I'm trying to tell you how to interpret things. See, I was even talking about one example in the class, like how the particular DGP or who encountered somebody in Warangal, or I was giving you about Disha's case. So everybody was happy in the society, like everybody hailed the police when the Disha's case, like the person, the culprit, those three youngsters were caught. They had actually burnt the body of the girl. So when you use structuralism, or when you use post-structuralism, or when you start interpreting that particular case, what you have to do is you cannot just rush and you cannot just encounter them. See, there was an incident that happened in Delhi long back, if I'm not wrong. Nirbhaya Disha, somebody, yeah. She was raped and she was killed. And they were punished. Even after they being punished, did the crime rate go down? Do you think that rapes have stopped happening in the country, or crime has come to a lower percentage? No. The percentage is going high rather than coming down. So, is there a solution to this? No, we are not providing solutions to this. We are interpreting, we are trying to understand the mindset of the person who is committing this crime. Is it that Disha was raped only by those three people? If you ask me, I will say that those three people did not rape. The society raped her. It is the society which has to be questioned. Why is that society is not interpreting itself? That is where your poetry, your drama, your novel, your short story, or your literature helps you. It helps you to interpret yourself. It helps you to interpret your society. So the moment you start understanding your culture, or try to interpret it in a psychological manner, historical manner, biographical manner, or you can take any sort of tool that will help you to understand or experience what is happening in society. See, somebody is killed on the road, you don't even care. We have our own work. अरे मेरा ऑफिस नहीं गया, कोई किसी का एक्सीडेंट रोड के ऊपर हो गया, तो एम्बुलेंस को बुलाने का टाइम भी मेरे पास नहीं है, क्योंकि if I go late to my office, somebody else, my boss will question me. He will say, अरे लेट क्यों आया, मैं तुझे आज एब्सेंट डाल रहा हूं, तुझे सैलरी नहीं दे दूं. One of your colleagues asks you, अरे why did you come late? अरे एक्सीडेंट हुआ था, किसी का जान खतरे में था. So I have called the ambulance and I had to stay there for 10-15 minutes. I gave him water and he was taken to the hospital and hope वो बच गया. लेकिन मेरा ह्यूमैनिटी क्या था कि उसको एटलीस्ट एम्बुलेंस में पहुंचाना था. तो I did that, and for doing such a thing, I have lost 1 day of my salary. तो अब मैं किसके पास जाके रोना करके वो कोलीग से बात करें. तो now you take this incident into consideration, or you can take any incident that is happening in and around you, or with your child, with your father, with your mother, or with the entire society, or with your teacher, or you can take everything into consideration. Take these things, first try to interpret them, try to understand them from an objective point of view. If at all, if you were in that position, what would have you done? Or how would you have reacted? What आपके मुंह से क्या आया होगा? Start thinking all these things. If you can think these things, then what happens is crime rate will automatically go low. सर मैं सोचने से crime rate नीचे चला जाएगा. हाँ, क्योंकि you are an individual, you are also part of the society. So when people start communicating, or when people start interpreting things from an objective point of view, what happens is it will help you to curb crime, violence, or quote unquote bad things in the society. You can ask yourself. It is not that you go ask somebody. You need not tell somebody to, you need not preach on the road saying that, अरे ये मत कर, वो मत कर, ऐसा मत करना है, ये किया तो अच्छा है, वो करा तो अच्छा है. किसी को बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप खुद को पूछ लो. The moment you start asking yourself, what happens is you will develop this habit of interpreting. Then what you can do is every day, जो हर रोज कर रहे हैं, वही एक्टिविटी को आप पोएट्री के ऊपर, if you can put it on paper, like when you concentrate on poetry, or when you concentrate on drama or a short story, what happens is आपका जो खुद का सोचने का तरीका जो है, वो हर रोज के ऊपर जो इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, वो अगर आप पोएट्री के ऊपर इस्तेमाल किया ना, तो आपका थिंकिंग, आपका जजिंग का कैपेसिटी, आपका लिविंग का स्टेटस, मींस द वे यू आर लिविंग राइट नाउ, विल रीच गुड हाइट्स, ग्रेट हाइट्स. लाइक यू विल बिकम मोर calm, you will become less stressed, you will not go frustrated every other moment, and all these psychological Western diseases, whatever, I would put it in that Western ही बोलता हूँ, क्योंकि I don't know how far people were frustrated or stressed or dejected or depressed some 1,000 or 2,000 years back, but right now we have been colonized, we were colonized, and we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It's been 75 years of independence, but still we are using the same English thing. We are not using our own native things. We are using culturally, we are bound to the Western countries. So I'm trying to merge this particular word with the Western concept, like Western diseases, ये depression, frustration. अरे psychologist का इतना बढ़ गया कि you go to a psychologist, you are asked to pay more than 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 rupees for one counseling session, where you are made to sit for 15 minutes or 1 hour. Why is that people are so much going to the dogs? Humanity is going to the dogs. Why? Because we are not interpreting things in the proper manner. First thing you can do is, first you interpret. Try to understand what you are trying to communicate. Like the moment you are opening your mouth, remember that you are speaking to X, Y, Z, anybody. Just think, what are you saying to the other person? Emotionally or non-emotionally? That's up to you. But the moment you are communicating something, try to remember what you are trying to communicate. Why are you communicating? Interpret it. Sit. Think about yourself. The moment you can do these things, what happens is it will help you to understand the everyday experiences. And these everyday experiences of judging or interpreting later on will help you to interpret poetry. Like, sir, आप जो करना है वो करना हो ना, फिर पोएट्री की जरूरत क्या है, ड्रामा की जरूरत क्या है? No. Drama is something that will help you to, that's what I said, और ऊपर चढ़ने का, और ऊपर जाने का, ट्रूथ के पास या गॉड के पास या निर्वाणे के पास, एनलाइटनमेंट के पास. To understand these concepts, your poetry or your classics or your drama or your whatever is prescribed for you in this textbook will help you out. They'll make you reach good heights. I'll be using rules, regulations. See, there are set of rules, or there's a method of writing. So I cannot. I've given you a very general understanding of how to interpret literature, any genre. But tomorrow, if possible, I'll try to cover something that is more prone with rules and regulations. See, I don't believe personally, but you have to. It becomes a must. It is not that we cannot just blindly go. We have to keep checks without see. There's a post-structuralist or a contemporary to or a contemporary to Ferdinand de Saussure, or structuralist who tells or who gives a statement. His name is Michel Foucault. You can read him in the same unit. I think even Michel Foucault is written, is given as an example, who talks about language and how language plays a major role and how language controls and how it is a power concept. Such a highly quoted person, like if you take Google metrics, you will find the highest quoted person to date is Michel Foucault. Foucault, Michel Foucault. So Michel Foucault says he gives you one statement. He says, power is good. So how power is good? Because you are keeping yourself in checks. One good example that you can think of power is good बोले तो आप आपका signal के बारे में सोच लो. Red का light निकला तो आप you have to stop. Green चलो. So there is a kind of checks that we have to maintain for ourselves. And to keep those checks, we have to follow a certain rule, certain rule position. And I will be talking or discussing about the rules or the way things are put on paper tomorrow. It's already 5:20, but still I find people are enthusiastically staying back and it's reflecting on my screen. So any doubts or any questions, or you can even contradict me. Whatever statements that I've given or whatever I told you, you can contradict me or you can raise a debate. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, go ahead. Or you can even leave the class. That's up to you. You have any clarifications, doubts, or you can debates, or you can arguments, anything is welcome. I'll stay on this screen for another 3 minutes. Or if you need, I'll stay for more time. That's a different thing, but heard melodies are sweet. John Keats, yeah. Andani Draksha Pullana. No, sir. No, you cannot use that Telugu proverb or saying with this particular John Keats statement, because John Keats statement talks about something which is very metaphysical, like it talks about something which is beyond the human understanding or the layman understanding, at least. The layman cannot catch it. Like Neeru nenu maatladukuntunte నేను మీరు నన్ను అడుగుతారు ఏమన్నా, అయ్యో ఏమైంది సార్ క్లాస్కి ఇప్పుడే ఎంఎస్ M5 ఇప్పుడే ఒక అబ్బాయి అడిగారు, మీరు క్లాస్కి రాలేదు మొన్న, ఎందుకు రాలేదంటే నా దగ్గర సమాధానం లేదు అని చెప్పాను. నిజంగా నా దగ్గర సమాధానం లేదా, ఐ డోంట్ నో, బట్ there's something beyond or something that is inside you which becomes very difficult to communicate. అలా స్టేట్మెంట్ కావాలంటే వాడుకోండి, హర్డ్ మెలడీస్, అన్హర్డ్ మెలడీస్, whatever. కానీ అందరి ద్రాక్ష పుల్లనా అంటే పక్కింటి పుల్లగూర రుచి, దూరపు కొండలో నునుపు, ఇవన్నీ కావాలంటే ఒక ఎత్తులో వాడుకోండి. అంటే ఇవన్నీ ఒక రకంగా చెప్పాలి అంటే పాజిటివ్ సెన్స్ లో రావు, నెగిటివ్ లో కూడా రావులేండి, చాలా ప్లేన్ గా వెళ్ళిపోతాయి. అంటే సామాన్యునికి చెప్తున్నాం మనం. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇక్కడ సామాన్యులం కాదు. రిమెంబర్ శర్మ సార్, వీఆర్ నాట్ ఆర్డినరీ పీపుల్ ఎనీమోర్ హియర్ సిట్టింగ్ ఇన్ దిస్ క్లాస్. వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ అవర్ మాస్టర్స్, లైక్ వీఆర్ that's what I said. Whatever you are communicating with your master's degree or whatever you are doing with your master's degree, that you should be able to understand. మీరు అది సొంతంగా మీరు బేరీజు వేసుకోవాలి మీ మనసులో. సో అలా చూస్తే మనము సామాన్యులం కాదు. ఇప్పుడు మనము ఒక ఎలివేటెడ్ స్టేజ్కి ఆల్రెడీ వచ్చేసాం. ద మూమెంట్ మీరు ఎంఏ అడ్మిషన్ తీసుకుంటేనే మీరు ఒక స్టేజ్కి వచ్చినట్టు. మీరు నన్ను విన్నా, మీరు నా మీద కోప్పడ్డా, నేను మీ మీద కోప్పడ్డా, మీరు నా మీద జోక్ వేసినా, మీరు నా మీద జోక్ వేసినా, వైసీ వర్సా ఏది జరిగినా కూడా వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ఏ వెరీ వెరీ డిఫరెంట్ లెవెల్. ఒక లేమ్యాన్ నా మీద జోక్ వేశాడు అనుకోండి, లేదా ఒక లేమ్యాన్ నా మీద కోప్పడ్డాడు అనుకోండి, నేను చూసుకొని ఏ లైట్ లేరా భయ్ అని చెప్పి అక్కడ నుంచి వెళ్ళిపోతాను. కానీ ఒక ఎంఏ క్యాండిడేట్ నా మీద జోక్ వేశాడు అనుకోండి, లేదా నన్ను నా మీద కోప్పడ్డాడు అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు ఆలోచిస్తాను ఏమని, ఓహో శర్మ సార్ అడిగాడు, శర్మ సార్ నా మీద కోప్పడ్డాడు అంటే అక్కడ ఏమో రీజన్ ఉంది, ఊరికి నేను కోప్పడలేదు. లైక్ ఐ విల్ స్టార్ట్ థింకింగ్ లైక్ వై యూ have shown a particular emotion towards me, or why you shouted at me, or why you just joked. So I'll start thinking, because you are not a layman, that's what I told you. So andani ద్రాక్షపులన అవి మామూలు వాళ్ళు మాట్లాడుకుంటే చల్తా, మనం మాట్లాడుకోకూడదు సార్. మనం ఒక స్టేజ్ దాటేసాం, కనీసం అలా అన్నా ఊహించుకొని ఆనందపడతాం సార్ మనం. వాట్ ఎల్స్ నెక్స్ట్? 5:26. Would you like me to wind up the class, or should I wait?
Continue, sir.
Ramanamurthy garu, you have to ask me something to continue.
Whatever you say is meaningful, no? That is.
No. Don't judge me blindly. నేను చెప్పేదంతా మీనింగ్ఫుల్ అని. 99% of whatever I'm trying to communicate is meaningless. I can defend or I can argue with you that whatever I'm trying to say, like from the last 1 hour, whatever I'm talking to you is meaningless, or it doesn't have meaning at all. అదే నేను మీకు చెప్పడానికి ప్రయత్నిస్తున్నాను. నేను ఏం మాట్లాడుతున్నానో బ్లైండ్ గా మీరు వినొద్దు, మీరు ఆలోచించండి. ఎవరో రోడ్లో పోయే వాళ్ళు ఆలోచించుకుంటా నేను చెప్పేది వినేస్తే ఓకే గుడ్. నో, Ramanamurthy is no more an ordinary person here. Ramanamurthy is doing his MA in English literature. At least he has heard some classes, or he has read something or done. He's in a better platform than the layman or the common man. So మీరు నన్ను డిఫెండ్ చేయాలి, ఆర్గ్యూ చేయాలి, నన్ను కొట్టాలి, నా మీద కోప్పడాలి. చెప్పండి. You ask me. I'm happy to go ahead with Mildred asked. What did Mildred ask? You're okay. Fine. Indian aesthetics meaning, sir. Indian aesthetics meaning, aesthetics means the study of beauty. Saundaryam, Saundarya Shastram. I can translate it into Telugu as Saundarya Shastram. Remember, Saundaryam is not Andam. Beauty is something, in English, when you check Saundaryam, Andam, all become similar. Like there is no specific word for there is no deviation. Ante aapko SW, do you understand Telugu? SW, a person is posing a question on chat, but I don't know what language he can understand in. Okay, let me tell it in English itself. See, remember, aesthetics means the study of beauty, or something that talks about beauty. When I say Indian aesthetics is something that talks about Indian related or Indian cultural bound aspects in terms of beauty. So we have India has come out with its own criticism, with its own way of hearing, with its own way of looking at beauty or seeing beauty. हमें देखने का तरीका, इंडिया में देखने का तरीका अलग है. तो बोला ना, हमारे पास 32 more than 32 emotions, भावास बोलते हैं उसको. So we have 32 bhavas, while Western... Pardon? Western aesthetics does not have so many bhavas. There are only nine emotions, if I am not wrong. Not even 9 emotions, 8 emotions or something. So they are fighting on that. They don't have those terms at all. But India...
We are having 49 bhavas, sir.
Yeah. See, somebody is giving you an answer. So there are hell a lot of bhavas.
Yeah, 49 bhavas in that 8...
Sai bhavas, anubhavas.
Sai bhavas and Vyabhichari bhavas.
So you find there are lot of interpretations, lot of words in Indian aesthetics. That is why when you ask me the meaning for Indian aesthetics bole to the study of Indian beauty. Sir, Indian beauty, Western beauty alag hai kya? Haan. The very concept itself is different. Like that's East, that's West. So
sir, Rasa also comes under the Indian aesthetic only, no? Rasas.
Yes, no. Rasas, bhavas, everything. Whatever Sanskrit terms, everything is Indian aesthetics.
Under Indian aesthetic.
They talk about beauty. Saundaryam ko kaisa dekhna. Like they talk about saundarya ko kaise sunna. Saundaryam is equal to God. Like again, I'm giving you an Western statement by the same poet, John Keats. There is a statement given by him, or there is a line in one of his poems. It goes something like this: beauty is truth, truth is beauty. Beauty is truth, truth is beauty. That is all you have to understand in this world. इतना से ज्यादा आप समझने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप अगर ब्यूटी को ठीक तरह से समझा ना, तो आप truth को समझ सकते हैं. This is the statement given by John Keats. So he uses when we talk about aesthetics is something that talks about beauty, and that particular beauty in English or in the Western concept is just beauty. Like you see a girl on the road or you see a boy on the road, आप बोल देते हैं कि ये handsome है, ये beautiful है. लेकिन Indian aesthetics is not talking about that beautiful which is used from a Western context. Like beautiful, you find somebody on the road, beautiful according to English is actually andam in Telugu or in India. Andam. But when it comes to beauty in Eastern terms, that's saundaryam. So saundaryam is altogether a different concept from andam. But both the terms are used in a single context, and it has only a single term, beauty. So Westerners talk everything as beautiful, but we have our own terms. We talk everything from a different perspective. Like saundaryam bole to something which is beyond the common man again. So you are taking the common man to a very high level through telling him, making him hear, making him see, making him feel, making him taste saundaryam. So you find everything withdrawn. I missed reading the second part, unheard or sweeter. So the Telugu proverb is inappropriate. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sharma, sir. Yeah, you have got that. So beauty is something like which can be talked from a very metaphysical sense, like Indian aesthetics. The moment I say Indian aesthetics is something that has to be felt. Like आपको देखना पड़ता है. Then only you will know what Indian aesthetics is. It is not that I tell you, you see, I see a crow. There is a crow sitting there on the wall, and what I do is I see that. Yeah, I'll give you a live example. One example that has been written by a very famous writer in Telugu, Chalam, Gudipati Venkata Chalam. He's a 20th century novelist, poet. He's a Telugu. He was a Telugu, and he was thrown, like he was banned from Andhra Pradesh because he wrote more about the freedom of women. Like he talked about the emancipation of women. So he was and more were bent towards sexuality. So he was thrown out. Everybody said ban Chalam, but Chalam said You need not ban me. I am banning. Like, I am going to ban Andhra Pradesh, and he left Andhra Pradesh and settled in Ramana Maharshi Ashramam. In his musings, he has written a book called Musings. In his musings, he writes at a particular place something like this. He says, he's standing near a window. वो एक window के पास खड़ा हुआ है और exam duty कर रहा है. He is doing exam duty. He was a teacher and he was doing examination duty. तो बच्चे एग्जाम लिख रहा है तो ये जाके विंडो के पास खड़ के वो विंडो से देखता है. He sees small kids, like some 3, 4, 5-year-old kids, street children, 4 or 5 children who are playing in the नाला. वो एक नाला है, वो नाला में खेल रहे वो बच्चे, 4-5 बच्चे नाला में खेल रहे. The moment I say नाला, that itself should have made you think that Nala stinks. So the moment I start telling about stinking, where did this concept of beauty come from? So Chalam बोलता है वो बच्चे खेल रहे हैं और pigs, stench, stink, everything सब मिला के बच्चे उधर ही, pigs भी उधर ही है, सब कुछ पूरा गार्बेज उधर ही है, पूरा बास आ रहा है. इंत జరుగుతుంటే చలం looks at that children and he says, ఆహా ఎంత అద్భుతంగా ఉంది, ఎంత అందంగా ఉంది, ఎంత సౌందర్యంగా ఉంది ఈ దృశ్యము, పిల్లోళ్ళు ఎంత బాగా ఆడుకుంటున్నారు ఆ నాలాలో, కాలువలో. See this statement, he is overjoyed by looking at that children playing in that nala. अगर आप मैं देखा तो कोई बच्चे उधर नाला में खेल रहा है और वो हमारे बच्चे होता तो, और दूसरे बच्चे होता तो भी हमारा नहीं हो सकते, दूसरे भी हो सकता है, तो भी क्या करते हैं, पूरा स्टेंच बाज आ रहा है और उसमें खेल रहे हैं बच्चे, अरे पहले उसको उधर से निकाल दो. तो we will see to that, we will stop them from playing and we will not allow them to go into that garbage, stay with pigs and in the nala. First thing we will get a kind of, we'll be disturbed by the very scene of children playing in nala. गुस्सा आ जाता है, हमको भी गुस्सा आता है और हमको पसंद नहीं आता है. लेकिन चलम बोलता है कि I am not cared about the garbage. I don't care about the pigs. I am more caring about the innocence of the child. So he is trying to look beauty. सौंदर्यम को देख रहा है वो. कहाँ देख रहा है बोले तो innocence, वो child का innocence उसमें देख रहा है. He is able to perceive beauty. Now I am using the term, English term beauty. So aesthetics is aesthetics and philosophy meaning, sir. Again, I don't know, sir. SW. Some SW is posing questions in the chat. Sir, if you don't mind, you open your mic and unmute your mic and you can ask me. I am not able to understand your question there. If you don't mind, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि आप क्या पूछ रहे हैं. మీరు ఏం అడుగుతున్నారో నాకు అర్థం అవ్వడం లేదు. అంటే మీరు ఇండియన్ ఈస్థెటిక్స్ మీనింగ్ సార్ అన్నారు, తర్వాత ఈస్థెటిక్స్ అండ్ ఫిలాసఫీ మీనింగ్ సార్ అంటున్నారు, తర్వాత ఈస్థెటిక్స్ అండ్ ఫిలాసఫీ మీనింగ్ సార్ అంటున్నారు. आप जो क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं वो मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. आप एक बार यू कम आउट ऑफ द माइक, यू अनम्यूट योर माइक एंड यू कैन आस्क मी so that I can. Page number 164. Page number 164. Page number 1. It's Indian aesthetics. Aesthetics is a branch of philosophy concerned with the study of the concept of beauty. Yeah, you have that, na? It's a very plain statement. Aesthetics itself is considered as a philosophy. It's considered as a subject. It's considered as a major field of study. तो उसको philosophy भी बोलते हैं, वो तत्वम बोलते हैं तेलुगुलो అయితే తత్వం అంటాం. సౌందర్య శాస్త్రం, that's what I just told you. శాస్త్రం itself can be can be translated as theory, or it can be translated as philosophy. So adoka tattvam, the way you lead a life, the way you live a life, dani patti aesthetics, philosophy ante emi ante concept of beauty ante. Nenu meeku everyday examples tho cheptunnanu. I'm trying to link literature, and I'm guiding you to see or hear things more minutely, so that you will understand how to interpret your literature or whatever. It's 5:40. I don't want to stay in the class anymore, because I think the others have to go open their roja, whatever. You go ahead with your rosas and everything. Tomorrow, let's meet in the class. Thank you.